Hey guys, how you doing? It is Sunday night and we are back painting Ragnar. I've done a little bit of work off stream this time to make up for the small amount of time we were missing last stream. We went a little bit further with him off air. We've only done the bits that you've seen so far though, so no real craziness. How's everyone doing? We got the Crooked Grin, Ventress, Viking, Twilight Walker. One day I mispronounced that name. Hasn't been yet though. I'll print you one, Des and M. Peters. How you folks all doing? Oh, and there is Des. Getting that subscription on. Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated, man. That's 10 months, nearly a year. Nearly getting that big anniversary. It's good, man. It's good. So, tonight we won't be doing the head. We're going to do a full stream on that. That'll probably be the next stream. Not the last stream. The last stream will be the base. But that's what we're up to at the moment. Let's zoom in on this dude. All that armor looking pretty damn fresh. Finished off the doggo. Got all those highlights done. All the bits of doggo hair on his cape. And we just assembled a few bits and pieces of him just so we can start looking at the miniature as a whole now as it's getting towards that finished state. Not too much to do. If we can get all the trinkets done today, all the little bits of detail he's got, and there's a lot. We've got things like gems to cover, gold, bone, pouches, this feather sword on his leg. We've got all of these things to do tonight. He's got loads to do. We're also going to be doing some work on his backpack. There's plenty of detail there that needs to be picked up, so more gold, more of these weird diamond-shaped gems, Space Wolves love. And then we'll be doing some more work on Frostfang as well. Now, off stream, all I've done to this sword is paint the teeth of the chainsword in black. We haven't done it as a full coat. You can see there's still plenty of that yellow showing through. But only because silver goes really badly over yellow. Like, really, really badly. So, didn't want to put down a silver coat on top. Didn't want to see you guys just sat there watching me paint a little bit of black. So, we've done that. But otherwise, this is untouched. Put a little bit of strong tone just carefully into the runes there to help make them stand out before we get on with some highlights for that. Tonight though, we've got some new commands. So some of you that follow me on Instagram already will know what's going on with this. Exclamation point box in the chat if you would like the chance to win a complete Indomitus box. That's right, 100% complete, not this half, not that half, not the book, not anything apart from the whole goddamn thing. If you guys weren't able to pick one up during yesterday's hilarious events, it was funny once you'd got yours, put it that way. Until you had, it was like, fucking hell, what? As soon as you get yours, you're like, ah, oh, it's not great, but yeah, I can see the funny side. Awkward. It was one of those. So, exclamation point box if you would like to win or stand a chance of winning that entire Indomitus box shipped to you anywhere in the world. We've got the usual win and mystery commands, and for the last night, the duty and score commands. Let's see where we're going with that. So, firstly, if we look at the box prize, this is it. Win an Indomitus box. It's a giveaway. Head on over to Instagram, follow the instructions in the post. Make sure you follow all those instructions. If your name is drawn out of the hat and you haven't liked the post or you haven't posted it to your feed, story is fine, but ideally your feed. Use regran or repost or something like that to do it. If you haven't subbed on YouTube, if you haven't told me in the comments, this is what I've done, you just won't be drawn. So make sure you follow the instructions. We've also got, on the release weekend stream, that raffle. This is why that exclamation point duty and exclamation point score is so important. We're going to be raffling off both of those guys. We're going to paint them over the weekend. Whoever wins, first place prize, gets to choose which one they want. And they get the rest of that faction brand new on sprue. Second place gets the other one and the rest of that faction. I've got a prize for third place as well. May even have more. We'll see how the stream goes. So there's that. For our Judicia. As you can see... Oh, god damn, it was a dead heat. Ultras and Dark Angels for 1 second. And then one more sneaky Ultramarine vote slipped through. Never mind. It is close at the top. It's basically a fight between the Ultramarines and the Dank Angles. One of those two is almost certainly going to be the winning colour scheme. It's going to take a miracle for my favourite, the Sons of Medusa, hanging out right down here in 4th place to get involved in this. But, you know, miracles could happen. It's not Christmas, we're not close to one, but there you go. So far, the... dead heat! We'll check back throughout the stream, but if you don't want to be winning an Ultramarine, exclamation point Judy, Judi, get a link to the poll, get your vote in. If you do want to be winning an Ultramarine, perhaps, maybe, get there and vote for the Ultramarines. But enough about the Marine. What about the Necron Lord? The Scorpeth Lord. This is real close at the top. 1 vote in it. My favourite, the Gypsy Dangercrons, currently in the lead. By 1 vote. Gypsy Dangercrons, to give you an idea of what that's going to be, that is going to be painted like Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim. One of the greatest robot films of the last 10 years or so. I love that film. Giant robots smashing the fuck out of something, I am all over that. So that is currently in 1st place, and that's my favourite scheme. In 2nd, by 1, is the Got Fucked Up at a 90s Ravecrons, aka Lozacrons. So these are the Necrons with the pink, the blue, and the green, all of that kind of glowiness going on. They look cool, but they're not my favourite. So, fingers crossed, Gypsy Dangercrons win. If you want to vote in that, exclamation point SKOR, head over there, get your vote in. We'll check back on it throughout the stream. But for now, we're back to Raggy. So let's get zoomed in. In the chat, we've got some cool people turned up. We've got Hobo J, Sprue Chopper, Ring Sting, Snake, Demon Badger, Hellboy. Hellboy's here. Hell yeah. A-Cold. And I think I've got... Oh, no, wait. MC Shrander. That's a new one. New name. I like that. Right. First things first. Let's get some base coats laid down. We're going to base coat all of the gold first because, as usual, we're going to be doing that 2-stage wash process I like to do with gold. So we'll get all of that done. While that's drying, get the base coats on something else. Then we can get a wash down, do something else, and then essentially just sort of rotate it through. We're going to stay as busy as possible. Also, just randomly today, I decided I was going to paint a Necron. I think I've done a pretty good job of recreating the Nucron style from GW. I like this guy. Obviously, no care of things like mold lines and so on has taken place. I just wanted to paint him. Smash this guy out in 45 minutes. They're so easy to paint. They're so easy to paint. This is without all the new GW paints. This is just what we had on the desk. So, yeah, new Necrons, piss easy. MC Shrander getting that sub in. Dude, thank you very much, man. As someone that's new to the stream, you may want to check out that exclamation point win and exclamation point mystery command. Smithy, how you doing? Berry Boy, thank you very much. And Empress Champion, oi oi. Oi oi indeed, man. Okay, so for gold, there is really only one, like, gold medal for this. That's the scale color Dwarven Gold. This stuff is absolutely legit. Love this. Absolutely love this. Let's get some of that on the wet palette. We're going to base coat all that gold. We got his championship belt. This guy's clearly WWF champion. Yes, I know they changed the name. I don't care. Don't care at all. I like gold, says Viking. Very exciting. I was able to get Indomitus on the way. Nice, dude. Nice. So, you can consider me part of the problem if you want. I have 3 on the way. However, I'd like to just say, out of those 3, all I'm keeping for myself is a rulebook. Everything else is being scalped on eBay. Wait, no, I didn't mean to say that. Everything else is for you guys in the stream there. I'm really, really looking forward to that release weekend. Painting those 2 new minis. It's a big challenge. I know I've said this before, and I know we've done some crazy challenges here. You know, entire Nurgle Demon Army in 48 hours or less on stream. Done. Done. Easy. Done. An entire Chaos Knight on stream in a weekend. Easy. Didn't even miss sleep on that one. Done. Painting the first ever bust that I've painted on stream. That was easy too. Did that in 1 day. But painting 2 characters to character standard in that length of time. That's a tricky one. That is a tricky one. Macy's the problem. Macy's not the problem. Dreadsea says I'm actually getting one of the collector's rulebooks. Damn, man. I looked at it and I'm like, that would be so cool to have. But it would never leave home. And I'd never use it anywhere. It would sit on a shelf. And I'd... Nah. What kind of motivational juice are you drinking tonight? This would be some apple juice that tastes extremely like 4 Roses Single Barrel, which is a lovely aged bourbon. Comes in at 100 proof as well. So it's a good job we're not drinking that and we're just drinking apple juice, because damn, I'd be shit-faced if I drinking that. God, it's so tasty. Also now I have a plan for the OSL Sprue Shack. I've been talking with someone who really knows OSL. Nice, good stuff, man. Alright, just getting into all the nooks and crannies on his championship belt. So what have you guys been up to? What hobby have you been doing? I mean, we haven't all been spamming F5 while sat on websites this weekend, I'm sure. Or being salty on the internet. I know there's a few people that have been doing that. On eBay, one company has 9 box set, sell at £200 each. Yeah, I saw Valrak's video. Stuff like that is horrible, and the only thing you can do is abuse them horribly. I mean, no, not that. I don't mean that. I mean, the only thing you can do is just not buy from them and encourage people not to buy from them, because otherwise it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They will just do it every time, and people will buy it from them every time. And that's just the reality of it, unfortunately. So, if we all just stay away and say, no, no, you filthy scalper, no, then we'll be fine. Unfortunately, that's a lot of message to get out to people. Right, we're going to do this feather sword on his leg in gold, because that seems like a good colour to paint this in. We've got these Grey Knight style-y embossed letterings as well. Heard someone selling half the box for $2,000. That's probably just somebody putting up a like an auction that won't then get taken down, so you don't have to worry about like relisting fees or something bullshit like that. But if somebody buys that, they need their head examined. Unless that's half the box pro painted, and even then I think that is a little bit over the top. Fair enough, man. Smithy, you should definitely try and get on the win here, mate. 2 chances to win. Get some raffle tickets up on that release weekend. Try your luck there. Just follow the instructions in the ! Box command to try and win the full box. It's very cool. I'm not going to lie, the toys in there are fucking crazy good. Salvirus, what up? Crownblade, still painting some Stormcast, nice. So like I said earlier on, when you get all the gold done, that way we can start working on other things while that's drying, get our washes on, and work on other things, stay as busy as possible, be efficient, essentially. Been working most of the weekend. Fortunately, this is one of the very few weekends I've had off. This year, we've actually had quite a few weekends off recently. I say quite a few, I mean more than 2. So yeah, it's been nice to not have to work at the weekends. Did you recover well from the migraine? Yeah, they sort of come and go, mate. I only get them at most twice a year. I've never had 3 in a year. It's just one of those things. I've lived with it most of my life, to be honest. When it happens, and that's the end of that. There's nothing you can do about it, nothing anyone else can do about it. The day it happens, I can't even open my eyes. Hey, Riesting, thanks for that follow, man. Yeah, so the day it is, that I'm useless. Like, I'm absolutely no good whatsoever. Just write me off. The day after, it's just a bit tough still. If anyone's ever had a migraine in the chat, you'll understand what I mean. That kind of aftershock that you get of having one. If you haven't, it's basically a hangover from the worst headache you'll ever have, with all of the associated feelings of nausea and dizziness and everything else. Give it the Dora treatment, scalp or no scalping. I have no idea what that means. Flash and Dash, how you doing, mate? MC, cheers, dude, much appreciated. M. Groening, please tell me that's Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, because if so, I love you, sir. You have been the most amazing person. Lofty, thanks for that follow as well. Welcome to the stream, guys. If you're brand new, !win and !mystery. You'll get a little bit of information about why you should stick around. Got lots in the chat. I could just sit here reading the chat instead of painting, actually. Acol says, finish my Knights Christian, working on my own Rustcrons right now, preparation for that new edition. Nice, mate. Very nice. Congratulations as well. Salvarez, that sucks, man. Unlucky. I used to have a girlfriend that would get them on average sort of once every week, maybe twice a week. They were pretty horrible for it though. Nice, a couple of people here understand the pain. It is what it is, good guys. There's no cure for it, like no known prevention. So we're just gonna get on with it, right? Get a bid on Scalpel's copy of box, and I realised he end auction just had to. Yeah, fair enough. Like, at the end of the day, it is capitalism. it's supply and demand. It is what it is. I think Games Workshop have helped it along a little bit because they haven't ever said, oh, we've got a new box set, like a starter box, like currently Dark Imperium is now. That's coming out as well. It's coming out on this day, and it's going to be this much money, and here's what's in the box. So because of all of that, they've capitalized on the FOMO thing, which I know everyone has said, and I'm kind of sick of hearing it, let alone saying it. But it is a legitimate thing. You know, it's definitely a marketing strategy, and Games Workshop obviously have a goal, which is to make money and sell toy soldiers and all these things, and that's absolutely fine. Inks, what up? So for them, as long as their bottom line doesn't suffer, and it won't suffer, not from something like this. This is absolutely nothing. As long as that doesn't suffer, they're all good, right? Flash and Dash getting us. Oh, wow, no. MC Shrander gifting subs. Brand new and already throwing out subs. Let me give Flash and Dash and Daddy Tubbs their meeps. Thank you very much for that, dude. That was really, really appreciated. Just so you're aware, you'd have been given meeps from that as well, MC. So, already starting to build up that balance. Daddy _ There you are, guys. That's both of you sorted out with your meeps. Once again, man, thank you very much. Rival Sarah! Here she is. The absolute best toughs in the game. This lady makes them. Sarah, did you see the message I sent you on Discord? Probably today. I think it was today. Might have been yesterday. No, I think it was today. I don't know. Today has been a bit of a blur. It's been amazingly productive, which is great. Got a load of admin stuff done. Entered a load of people's names into a spreadsheet for that Indomitus box competition. Did some painting. Did a lot of painting. I totally understand that. I should have sent you a message on Instagram or something as well. Yeah, I spent about 3 hours doing like admin work before I could start painting today. I'm like, what the shit? How does all this stuff take so long? It's one of those. Just one of those. Damien Pedley! How you doing, champ? I'm going to be painting Ragnar's face, hopefully, on our next stream. So if you want to see some amateur hour face work, then come and watch the stream. If you want to see somebody paint faces really, really well, just go and follow Damien Pedley on Instagram. MC, absolute boss. Thank you very much, man. We try. Right. So appreciate this is the boring part, just getting all the base coat down, but it's got to be done. We've obviously got some work on the backpack to do in gold, and probably, almost definitely, in fact there's definitely quite a lot of gold on that sword as well. So it's going to continue for the next probably 15 minutes or so. Let me start working on some of the actual details rather than just pissing about with gold paint. Can't be a productive day. Mine could have been better, but I'm going to have a crack at a few bits tonight. Nice, nice. Dude, that peel and reveal. Oh, it's the best part about masking any part of a mini. Taking that off is so satisfying. So I'm doing a commission for Ring Sting at the moment, and I've got 22 of these bases done up to this stage so far. And on tomorrow night's Hellstorm stream, we're going to take these and we're going to hopefully finish them. That will involve a lot of painting gold. We've got this bit to paint gold and this bit to paint gold. But this bit is the thing that is the interesting part, obviously. Going to get a lot of shading in amongst all of these cells. We're going to get a couple of highlights on, not every single one highlighted. That would look crazy, and in fact actually would remove a lot of the oomph from the effect. And you get some nice straight lines finished in here. Bring that radar sweep to an absolute peak. And maybe on the occasional one, just pop a little bogey somewhere on the radar. So that's going to be cool. But looking at these amazing sets of geometric patterns, all these triangles and hexagons, I love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Damien says, I'll be judging me. Or he'll be judging me. That's fine, dude. I feel like you do that a lot anyway, so it's no problem. We're all good. Alright. Backpack. So going to thin this gold down a little bit so we can get a nice smooth coat over these dog faces. And these may even need 2 coats, so we should have done these absolutely first and come back to them now, but never mind. Gonna look for a bit, try back on. Hey, no worries, man. No worries. But Des has made a point. Tonight marks the 2nd Sunday stream of the month, which means we reveal one of the prizes in this month's mini giveaway. Every month, give away 2 prizes on the last stream day. Minimum. This month we gave away as well, already done a giveaway, those Rival Crafts glow-in-the-dark tufts. We've obviously got the Indomitus box giveaway. 2 of them, in fact. But at the end of the month, there's still something to look forward to, even after all of that craziness has come and gone. We've got our regular giveaways to do. So the first one is a £50 hobby voucher. Anyone can win that. Don't have to be a subscriber. Don't have to have been here for very long. As long as you've built up enough stream currency to buy a ticket into the raffle, that's only 400 meeps. So that's, admittedly, 400 minutes of watching, but you can do that in a week. Not tricky to build that up. I've done it so even if you could only watch one show every week, if you watch that show every week for a month, you'll still definitely get a ticket, maybe even 2, depending on we got a 4-week month or a 5-week month. So anyone can win that. And we've had a few brand new guys win it before. It's not always the vets. Ink says, in a super mood. Awesome. Me too. It's been a productive day. I saw you've been doing some work on your dinosaur as well. So Ink's won a prize during our last raffle stream. Got herself a Carnosaur from Age of Sigmar. So that's one of the prizes. That £50 voucher, and that's a good prize. It's a good prize. I think the last one got turned into Nagash from Element Games immediately upon delivery. Redeemed straight away. Element voucher, turned into Nagash. Quality price. Got Discord link, !Discord, bro. We try to keep it simple so that I can remember them more than anything else, but there you go, pal. But you'd be saying after 400 minutes, that's a different story. I think if anyone's lasted till 400 minutes, they probably weren't saying to begin with, dude. So, you know, it's just a madhouse here. That's how we roll. Currently, we're rolling in about 21 degrees. It's pretty warm. Just glad there's no compressor going near my feet. That adds to the heat in here. The second prize, the second one we do, this is subscriber only. And the reason it's subscriber only is because we're going to be giving away a mini and I'm going to be painting it on stream. Now, Ragnar is one of those minis. This was won last month by Peckish Fox, awesome streamer here on Twitch, so give him a follow if you don't already. We always give the winner a choice of 3 minis, 2 of which they know about and 1 of which they don't. Mystery. Crownblade, you haven't met my ex-wife. I clearly attract the insane. Inks, that's awesome. What did you get for your birthday? So far this month, we've had the Blood Bowl Minotaur previewed as one of the many possible prizes you could be. The mystery box wasn't taken last month, so we know the mystery box contains the same item it did before. And tonight, we're going to unveil the other prize that you'll have the identity of. I like it. I think it's cool. I've wanted to paint it for a while, so yeah. Ring Sting, that's a semi-common issue. There is a way around it that Des knows, and I can't for the life of me remember it. But if you search on Discord for Mohawkminiatures, then you might be able to find the server anyway and just join that way. Right. That's definitely the second coat, so because we've got a little bit more work to do elsewhere before we come back to it. Nice. Awesome. Well, shame it wasn't a dress, but congrats. Trust me, as you get older, you generally just ask for things like socks and pants for your birthday anyway. Jay's like the sun. Don't stare directly at him for any significant length of time will leave you delirious and possibly blind. That's just the light off my giganto face. It's the meathead. That's all that is. It was worse when we did the glow-in-the-dark tough stream and we had the lights off behind. So yeah, that was a little bit bright, wasn't it? It was a little bit in your face. Nice. Sounds like a good birthday, Inks. I won't ask how old, it's rude. Alright. So, on the hand, we've got this bit here on the wrist to do. These sort of grey knight style bits of text. I'm going to tell you now, these are going to be an absolute pain. Getting this part done and getting the wash done, that's easy. Getting the highlights done, that's an absolute a-hole. White chocolate birthday cake, now that sounds good. Sign me up for some of that. Right, so on the sword, I'm going to do a red sword handle. Going to be using contrast paint for that. That's something that I use contrast paint a lot for, mostly because Flesh Terror Red has got one of the nicest hues for a red base coat. I know I sort of poke fun at contrast paint quite a lot, but it does have its uses. Don't get me wrong, one of its uses is not painting power armor without significant amount of additional work. It's certainly not to be used for painting things like tanks with large flat surfaces. None of these things are you should use contrast paint for. But stuff like that, and that particular color as well, yeah, that works. That really, really works. Now the gold at first on this is going to look really, really washed out, and that's totally fine. But because of how we're going to be doing the gold, with that two-stage wash of purple and flesh tones, it's going to bring it right out of the orange. Can anyone in the chat tell me why? It's a very simple answer, but it's only simple when you know it. We talk about this sort of thing a lot on here. Answer on a postcard, or alternatively in the chat. Either is fine, but I'm not giving you my address. I thought that was meant to be like a wrap around of his thumb there, but it's not. It's a wolf here. What was the question? So you'll know the answer, so I'm not going to tell you. The question was, we're painting the sword handle here, the hilt, I think it's called, this part, in gold. And that's sat right next to orange. So for now, it looks really washed out and you can't really see it and so on and so forth. But it's going to be okay because of the wash system that we're using. We can use a purple wash and then we're going to follow it up with a flesh wash. So why does that make it okay to go next to orange? Because all gold is, if you really break it down and think about it, is one or other shades of metallic yellow / orange. Sent the answer via carrier pigeon. This is good. I hope the pigeon knows where I live. Deckflow! Coming in with a raid. Dude, thank you so much. Welcome. Let's get a shout out for Deckflow, please. Pretty sure it's not mod only. If it is, I'll promote someone. Ragnar, how are you doing, dude? Definitely a shout out for him. Deckflow, how's your stream, man? What did you get up to this evening? Nobody got the answer to that question? Nobody know? What synthetic brushes do you use for your metallic paints, Mohawk? I don't. The only thing I use synthetic brushes for is oil paints, and that's because using the thinners and so on eats sable brushes. So don't use those. Sith, you're pretty close, man. You are pretty close. Deckflow, what were you working on tonight, mate? What was in your stream? And for those just joining, we're doing some work on Ragnar Blackmane. Getting some base coats down on gold for now, but this is where we're currently at with him. It's looking good. It's looking good. Will there be enough contrast between the gold and the blade? Well, I said it's fine because of the wash system we're using. I'll put you guys out of your misery. It's because we're going to be using that purple wash. Because we've got, at that point of the blade, a bright orange, and purple is opposite orange pretty much on the color wheel. That purple will outline it perfectly. It'll also give it a nice shade, which is really going to help separate it from the orange. And then, because the orange is going to be relatively dark in comparison to the gold, when we finish our final highlights on it using silver, it will really jump out. See, Demon Badger, he got it. He got it. Good work, man. Right, any other bits that I might have missed? I don't think so. No, there's only a gem on one side of that. You give a little bit more attention to these dog heads on the backpack, just because they were a little bit patchy in places. Just here, so we've got some nice thin down gold, just laying that on, and then we're going to grab another colour and start working a different detail. Let this dry and cure, and then we start getting those washes down. Should have told me the pigeon doesn't know your address. Don't know what. Well, you know. Them pigeons, mate. Mind of their own. There we go. So, what should we do our base coat on next? Let's just grab some brown and get things like these pouches and so on done. Joe Darkblade, thanks for that follow, man. Earl Ventry in the chat as well. He's my very good friend, epic painter. He's just finished off some Eldar stuff that looks absolutely banging. And he's going to be starting Necron soon, is that alright? Peckish! Here he is. Farilos, thank you very much for that follow. Welcome to the stream, guys. If you just come over, then exclamation point win, exclamation point mystery. Two good commands that will let you know a bit about what we do here on the stream and hopefully give you some incentive to stick around. Gold's looking pretty. Dude, all we've done is put one coat of gold over most of this. This is like a 3 out of 10 gold right now. At best. At best. Also, guys, don't forget exclamation point Judy, Judi, and exclamation point score. These two right here. Head on over to our straw poll where you can help select the color scheme that we're going to be giving away. Sorry, raffling off, not giving away. Raffling off our Judicia and Score Petal. We're going to paint on release weekend of the Indomitus box live on stream in those colors. So you go and choose them. Any more browns to do? Not on there. Have we got any more bits of like string? We've got loads of chain. We've got some string down there. We painted that in already. No, I think we're good. We are currently stringless. This is fine. This is fine. It is going to be very cool, man. Wait till we do the base. The base is going to be... Perhaps one of your moderators? Awesome. Awesome. Okay, now let's base all of the teeth. So, got some Menoth White base from P3 on my wet palette from earlier on. Let's get some of that in there and start picking out all these little wolf teeth. And it's a real surprise that wolves stick around them at all when there's all this lot going on in their armor. Surely they're thinking, like, I know what's happening to me tomorrow. This is a bit worrying now. John says, yeah, got to get on the Indomitus train. Well, if you guys want to get on the Indomitus train, exclamation point box in the chat. There's a link there to a post I made on Instagram. It's got all the rules in. It tells you exactly how you could win a complete Indomitus box. Absolutely free of charge as well. There's no entry fee. There's no raffle tickets to be bought. There's not even buying tickets with Meeps. You just literally go, do the things in that post, and you're in. Chance to win. Got some good ideas for the base. I'm just going to paint it all black and leave it. It'd be really edgy. Yeah. Next thing you know, sat up in our room all alone, constantly listening to Good Charlotte and Welcome to Black Parade. Good song that, though, to be fair. Yeah, we're going to do, like, properly frozen winter. You know, it's going to be great. We're going to get some fake snow on there using crushed glass, which is legit, I think, one of the best ways to put snow on a base. Obviously, it's crushed glass. Treat it with respect. Be careful with it. You know, maintain a good clean down. Wear gloves. All that kind of shit. But I think that's a really, really good way of getting a snow effect on a base. Wrong way. There you go. Let's pop that up a little bit more. Now we've got the rest of those colours down. Camera's starting to behave a little bit more. So you've got frozen little bit of water in here. So we're going to put some UV resin in there, get that looking nice. Then we're going to get some snow down on top of that. So it really, really looks like it's frozen over. Going to make some icicles on stream. I'm going to show you guys how to make icicles and stalagmites using UV drying resin. If you've not seen this trick done before, it's crazy. No, we're not melting flight stands. I always hated that way of doing it because it fucking honks. Janelson! Darling, long time no see. How's things? Got your box ordered? Awesome. Awesome. Oh, we missed a tooth. There's one down here. All the wolves who live to the Space Wolves must be like on a morning. Have you seen Jeff? It was here last night. And a Wolf Lord comes through showing off his new fur coat. Yeah, too right. Janelle, sounds like you got a deal. So, you guys know how I support Element a lot because they also support me. It's good. They sponsor loads of events in the community. They host their own events. They're a good local game store for a few people in our community as well, which is always good. However, they did not offer their box at a discount, despite telling people that they were going to. And then also did not offer it for delivery either. It was collection only. So we did not get our Indomitus boxes from Element Games. I got mine from Imps Gaming, which is an awesome little organisation up in Lincoln. And they were, as of, oh shit, I think it was actually this weekend. I think this weekend was when they were meant to be having a GT/major sized ITC event, but obviously it has not come to pass. George, what up, dude? Looking crisp at armor, he says. Show us the cape, pal. That cape has only been airbrushed so far. We've got loads left to go on that. Actual highlights, some proper shadows, this, that, and the other. Hopefully on task to do that tonight. We shall see. Currently, we're painting doggo teeth. If you get GW through Element, yeah, so does everybody else in the US though, right? It's one of those. Anyway, it's really good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Count these teeth. And then once we've done all the teeth, we'll go back to our gold and we'll get that first wash down of purple. Now, there's going to be a few people in the stream that are like, you've said this a few times now, mate. Are you actually going to wash gold with purple? Well, yes, I am. It's not the apple juice talking. There's a little bit of theory behind that. It's this thing called a colour wheel. And if you've never heard of it, I strongly suggest that you Google it. You will find people that have been trained in art from like a classical style and viewpoint, and they will have a load of knowledge and information about the colour wheel that they could tell you. I was never classically trained in art. My art teacher told me I'd never be any good at any kind of art form ever. Well, fuck you. That's what I've got for her. So, as a consequence, my art stopped at GCSE, semi-abruptly. And then my design classes stopped at A-level very abruptly when my teacher said, look, please just don't come back to my lessons. Which I thought was a little bit harsh, you know. Right, any more bits of bone, tooth? I think we're good. We are good. There's only 4 bits of Ragnar, now not 7 as well. So we're alright. We're all alright. Blue-eyed and furry. Fur looks lovely. Trash Judo have an eye for that. Wait, are there any bones on the base? No, some barbed wire has been really nicely carved. There is. There's a friggin' skull right down there. Nearly missed that. Can end up with a lot of pigment over this, as well as some snow, so we're not too worried about making this super crisp. Let's not waste effort, but let's make sure it is actually done. Can't see it from the back. There's no like dog dirt or anything on there that needs to be painted like this. No. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Were you getting your cock out in the design classes? No, but my teacher was accused of that. In quite a serious way, actually. I just want to go on record and say I never saw it. I wasn't his target audience, shall we say. Right, moving on from that horrible, horrible topic of conversation. Purple wash. We were talking about the colour wheel. So, go Google the colour wheel if you don't know what it is. Hiko, Salsero, what up? The reason we're going to be able to wash gold with purple is because on that colour wheel, gold, we talked about this earlier on when we were looking at the sword, gold is basically metallic yellow, metallic orange, somewhere in there. And so if you just stop thinking about the shiny aspect of it, whether it be a glossy shine or just a metallic sheen, just move away from that entirely and just treat it as a colour. It's just yellow or it's just orange. In this case, it's mostly just orange. A little pale orange. Which means if you wash it with purple, and you wash it correctly with purple, and you thin that wash correctly, so it glazes the surface and just tints it a little bit, applies it as a filter, if you will, but still retains that really strong purple in the recesses, you're going to get the really dark recesses. Because the level of contrast from one to the other is going to be maximum, because they're opposite each other on the colour wheel. And especially if you've got a bright gold and you're using a dark purple. And that's what we're going to do now. And that's why this was going to be so easy for us to keep the separation. So, I'm going to come back to the sword. I'm going to pop a little bit of clean water on my palette. And the reason I'm going to come back to that is because I want to get the washes dry on and around his goldy looking chain he's got going on up here. So we can do a bit more work on that, get those runic symbols and the teeth done while we're waiting for other areas of this to dry. So I'm just thinning this wash with with water. It's purple wash. This is the purple tone from Army Painter. Games Workshop do a purple wash. It's called something like Droopy Violet. I love the Army Painter washes. They're generally a little bit better behaved than the GW ones, I feel. You don't get so much of that coffee staining, even if you're applying to flat areas, which I really like. But this particular tone is just great. Right, let's knock the brightness down just a touch. Make this a bit easier to see slightly. Now obviously when you're applying any kind of wash, whether it's one that you've made yourself or a wash product that you're using, the most important thing is not to flood any areas of the mini. Actually at this stage the most important thing is don't get purple on the teeth. That would be bad. But make sure, especially when you've got an area like this with a chain where you've got a lot of those really deep cells in there, that what you're not doing is completely flooding them with your wash, because then you'll lose any semblance of being gold. You won't have a filter anymore just tinting the surface color. You'll have just purple, and that's not what you want at all. Ink says I use gold to highlight brown sometimes, and I use silver to highlight grey. Yeah, it works. What you're doing there is you're essentially using the metallic element of the paint to help sort of cheat out a little bit of extra shine. That little ting. Rocky! How you doing, fella? Good to see you, man. How's that new job treating you? Alright, let's get in on his championship belt now. Here's where you're going to really start seeing that effect. So look at the sort of recess part of all of this. Now we're actually just slightly too dark. I think the camera's having a hard time every time I put my hand in shot. But see that purple? Now currently it definitely looks like purple. You can tell it's purple, and when it's dry that'll be even more pronounced because you won't have any of that little shine to it that we're getting currently, blurring it out. But that's why we do a 2-wash system here. Follow it back up with our flesh wash. It helps retain our really nice shadows. It also brings it into a gold that's a bit more gold in colour, gives it a nice luster. I think it's a great way of doing gold. Are you proud of me, Jay? I'm taking good pictures. I am proud of you, man. You went out and got a light box. Now we can actually see the mini that you were trying to show us. Whereas before, it was almost like you were sort of shaking with both hands, which is, unfortunately, just one of those things. Exhausting, not used to be up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. only exists from one direction, which we saw recently, unfortunately. Take it easy, man. You enjoy your dinner. Thanks for popping by, dude. Everyone, that's Rocky. Give him some hype. Absolute legend here. Alright, nearly done on the main body. And we're actually going to finish off all the gold before we go into details of our next giveaway mini. So we normally try and do the reveal around 10 o'clock, but I want to get this wash done before we take any even small break to talk about that. That gold's looking much, much nicer now. Yeah, it's starting to get all those details come into it. You're really getting that sense of contrast as well, which is exactly what we're after in a mini. I explained to a few people recently that have asked for painting tips, and my biggest tip is always try to get the maximum amount of contrast, because contrast, to me at least, and remember art is subjective, so it may not be the case for you, but to me, contrast in a mini gives you points of interest, where you get that juxtaposition of light against dark and so on, or warm colours against cold colours. Remember, that's another form of contrast. I really like seeing that. So a few people I've spoken to recently have asked me about like, do you think this would be a good paint scheme or stuff like that. That's generally been the advice that we've given them. Can you link your Insta? I mean, yeah, if you want to, mate. Got no issue with Instagram. I've got an issue with the fact I've just realised there's a massive, great big honking chain across his back, but we'll do that off stream. We don't want to go back to the gold now. We'll find a way to fit that in lunch tomorrow or something. Right, let's do the sword. There's something I want to point out with the wash, especially around these elements here, like this little gem housing, casing. I think it's a casing for gems. Make sure you paint a little bit around the casing so that it spills out onto the armor a little. And the reason behind that is because that way you're just gonna outline it against the armor, sort of doing your panel lining all in one go. And if we do the same thing here on this sword, that we talked about earlier on, will help get that separation between the dog head at the bottom, or the vent thing that we've got on the other side at least, and the orange. And because it's purple, it's going to give us one of the most contrasting lines that you can possibly get in that area. And then by the time we apply some highlights to this and get it looking nice and bright, it will stand out just fine against that sword. You see already, we've got that definite border around it, really helping to bring that out once it's still in focus. We're taking advice from someone who's never going to do anything in art. Apparently so, man. Apparently so. I can't even remember my art teacher's name. No, it's gone. But that's how much of an impact she made on me. I ignored her. She basically didn't like the fact that in school my preferred medium was a permanent marker. Like, everyone else was getting oil paints out or whatever. Some were doing watercolours. And like, no, I've got a permanent pen. This is what I want to draw with. Permanent pen. I've done some great drawings with permanent pen. So again, just making sure that that wash spills over just onto the sword enough. Gives a nice strong border to that gem casing there as well. Boom. Put that down. We've just got the backpack to do, and then we're going to pause briefly when we talk about the next mini to enter this month's plethora of available minis to win for one lucky subscriber. It'd be great to show what you're doing / have been doing. It would, to be honest, mate. But she was not young when I was at school, and so I imagine she may not still be here. But yes, it would be. It'd be great to show some of the teachers that said, "Oh, you'll never be able to do X, Y, Z." Actually, fuck you. Fuck you. But hey, that is the past. You know, way past that. We're light years ahead of drawing permanent pen drawings. Not really. Daddy Tubbs says, what's your hot take on the Indomitus release? I've seen a lot of complaints about some people not getting their hands on a limited edition box. Wow, Damien, that's probably accurate, but still. Damn! Too soon, brother, too soon. Not reading that one out for the fine folk over on YouTube. Whew. So, Indomitus release. In short, it will be in short. It's a limited edition box. If some people didn't get it, there's a clue in the title. I mean, it's not, here you go, everyone that wants this box is going to be able to get it. It isn't. That being said, I think that there should have been a worldwide limit from any store, really. The Games Workshop official store, at least. There was 1 per customer. Because in the UK it was like, right, 6 per customer. And clearly somebody in head office went, are you fucking joking? So that obviously could have been changed from the get-go. The only issue I had over the weekend, because I know a lot of people, because I know a lot of different stores, because I've travelled for tournaments, which are normally events held at places that are local game stores. The only issue I had over the weekend was making sure I had enough to do the giveaways for you guys. The one for the release weekend stream, I got from my local. I have a very good working relationship with my local. I hold events there for them. I promote them locally. And I do a lot for them. So they were more than happy to say, it's okay, Jay, we've got you one. You're like the first allocated box we got, that's yours. Everyone else will be on a first come, first served basis, but you're sorted. So it's really good to have that kind of working relationship, right? And that's why, regardless of the fact that I shop a lot of Element games for things that I can't get locally, or if it's for commissions, where obviously you've got to make sure that there's you're looking at your client essentially with that sort of profit margin and so on. For all of my other stuff that I can get locally, I do get at my FLGS. You guys should do the same. If you go there to play 40k, make sure you're buying your dinner there if you can. If they serve food, make sure you're getting drinks and stuff there. Don't turn up, just go down to the room. Don't spend the fucking thing. Bring in your own food and drink, because that place will die if you do. So support them. The only issue I had, though, is getting those other 2 boxes I wanted to make sure we could do all the giveaways, because that's the whole point of me buying these boxes, was for that. So, quick pause. We're going to let all of that purple tone dry. Then, as we got this far, and we're doing this stage, by the time we come back to it, that will all have dried. We can get our flesh tone on as well. We're going to talk about the minis that we're giving away this month. So, 1 lucky subscriber, exclamation point mystery in the chat for a little bit more info. 1 lucky subscriber this month can win, painted by me, either this fucking sick Blood Bowl Minotaur mini. December win, yes, atlanticgames.co.uk. This is a beautiful, beautiful mini, and I really, really want to paint it. If you played Blood Bowl, this thing goes in loads of different teams. If you play D&D, it'd be useful, I'm sure. If you play Age of Sigmar, any of these things, this guy is a beast. So that's the first of 3 minis up for grabs for 1 lucky subscriber. Now I'll go to the mystery prize now. Obviously not going to reveal it, but I will show you the box. This was not chosen last month. Last month, Peckish Fox made a decision that Ragnar Blackmane was what he wanted. It's a good choice for someone of the Space Wolves army, I'm sure. But here's the mystery box. This is a very, very cool box, obviously. In this box is a mini, or minis. It's definitely some version of a mini. It's a mini that's been taken from the shelves behind me. Yes, this one has. Oh, I just let it out. It's 1 mini. Damn. So that means that it could be things like limited edition Space Marine Terminator Chaplain, GT Occult stuff, we've got some Eldar stuff, we've got some Tau stuff, we've got some Warcrime minis, we've got some Nightvault minis, we've got some Blood Bowl minis, there's an Armega box somewhere just there. So there could be anything like that in here. Now they chose to light up. Brilliant. However, if you look just about here in the background, you'll also see just some random boxes of like GW scenery. There's also a pile of shit down here that no one will ever see. So it could just be a Ripper or a Scenic Base. It could be anything in here. As long as it fits in this box, it could be anything. So you can gamble, either have the Minotaur that you know, or the mystery box, or the third mini for this month's giveaway. I've wanted to paint one of these for a while. I think they're sick as fuck. I'll print you one. Thank you very much for that subscription. That's 3 months just in time for mini number 3, Chaos Space Marine Obliterator. Now, is this the most exciting mini ever? Is it Ragnar? No, it's not Ragnar. But you still can't buy these fucking things anywhere, which is ridiculous. That's a release debacle as far as I'm concerned. You still can't buy half the shit from Shadowspear. So, we will paint this for you if you choose this mini in any Chaos Legion that you want. You want your own Legion made up? That's cool too. Notice how he is blue tacked together so that I can pry this bit off and paint his face separately, because fuck trying to paint it when it's in there. But there you go. You've got the choice of an Obliterator, the Minotaur, who is so cool, or the mystery box. So there you go. That's what we've got up for wraps this month on a last stream month, which is the 30th. It is a Thursday. Smithy, you buy the Shadowspear via Just Start Collecting. You can. You're absolutely right. But let's say you just want an Obliterator. You want 1 unit of 3. You get 2 in that box. You want 1 more. 60 quid for 1 mini. Because let's be fair, the rest of the stuff in that box you've probably already got, or you don't want, because you want the real Chaos Space Marines, not the snap fit push together ones. You reckon someone at head office hates Chaos? Maybe they do, mate. Maybe they do. Right, we need Flesh Home. Right here. Let's get on with this gold. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning those minis, having it painted by me and sent to you anywhere in the world that you may be, completely free of charge, all you need to do, be a subscriber, and be online for that end of month stream. But you could also win that £50 hobby voucher. I mean, that's a damn good prize right there. Give you a voucher to any online retailer that supports voucher codes. We do a lot for Element Games, do a few for Games Workshop, Forge World. One guy was buying an airbrush, so because I knew it was going on that, we just PayPal'd him 50 quid. I mean, damn, right? I mean, what would you guys buy right now, aside from the Indomitus box? What would you put £50 hobby voucher towards? If it was me, and I couldn't spend it on anything like commission-wise, like work-wise, what would I spend 50 quid on? I would buy... a Greater Demon of Slaanesh, because I really want to paint one. Just really, really do. They're wonderful looking models. That's what I'd put it towards, I think, right now. Because now I've got a demon army, so it's useful. Rival Crafts, that's a damn... Oh, yes. Yes, that is a really, really good shout. I'm telling you, it's very easy. Very easy to spend like that on there. We know this from great experience. December Wind says Forge World Tau suits. Okay, I can get behind that. I really, really like the look of those. The Arvana and the Yavara. I really like them. I like the hazard suits as well. All Tau suits look cool. Daddy Tub says natural head brush set. Never tried them before. Nice. If you live in the UK, check out Jackson Art Supplies. I use the Winsor & Newton Series 7. And I pretty much use the size 1 for everything. There's very little we break out a smaller brush for. And there's even less that we break out a larger brush for. If it's a large brush, it's the airbrush. Ringsting gets that sub going on. Whoop. Cheers, brother. Victor Von Champ says, I want Stern and Kaiganil. That's the new Inquisitor, right? Pecky says, Adeptus Titanicus boxes. Yes. All the yes. I'm trying very hard not to get into that because A, no one around here plays, which obviously is a grave detriment to me being able to play. But, do I have a link for the brushes? No, I don't, dude. But it's Jackson Art Supplies. They're based in the UK. And I think out of London, top of my head, but don't quote me on that. But that's where I've been buying all of my Series 7s from over the last 2 times. Apparently Amazon has some very dodgy counterfeit ones on there, so we thought we'd just not chance it. Right, we're just giving the tusks a little bit of flesh wash as well, because we may as well. Get them put in with a wash as we go. It's going to use strong tone, but we're right here with this, so let's do it. And because it's less brown and more towards that sort of chestnut red, it's going to give us a little bit of a warmer finish on them as well. Not mad about that. There you go. Peckish, thank you very much, dude. Absolute superstar. So, we're going to have a quick look at how this has changed our gold completely. So before it was very, very definitely purple. Now it looks really rich and lusterful. Fantastic aged gold. That's a Sister in X Harlequin. Nice, that's the one. You got a Slanesh army built unpainted if you want dibs. Maybe. Des, you did miss it, mate. You did. Guys, I'll leave it up to you to tell Des what the prize is. Asirani is now following. I'm being followed by Eldar people. It's weird. Shadowrunner Sen, peace out. Take it easy, man. The last few bits of gold, just got the sword and the backpack to do, and then we can let that dry. We crack on with something else. Probably be doing the pouches, I reckon, because they're nice and out of the way of all the wash that we just laid down. And it's brown. I mean, it's a piece of piss to paint. All Eldar, clearly. I mean, yeah, definitely. Alright, see how that's starting to stand out a little bit more now from the sword? It's definitely becoming the much more prominent thing that you see at this end of the sharp pointy stick. George, talk to me about this Slanesh Demon. Is it a Slanesh Demon army? Talk to me. Talk to me, George. To be honest, the only way I'd ever really run a Slanesh army would be the 4 Greater Demon of Slanesh version, because it's basically a knight army out of demons. Ringsting, no worries, dude. Peace out. It also looks half tournament viable as well. especially with the new Exalted Demon stuff. Like, holy fuck balls. Those things become murder machines. Absolute murder machines. Fish! How's it going, man? Didn't see you sneak in. How you doing? Smaller boards too. There's that as well. Christ alive. Yeah, they move like 17 inches a turn if you get the right trait. They can advance and charge, and they add +1 to advance and charge. So let's say you roll average on your advance, but it evens out to a 4. So you get 3.5, we just round it up. So 17, that's 21. So average charge is 7, that's 8. That's like 29-inch threat. Like, legitimate threat as well. Not, oh, you might make it, but like, fuck. Damn. What's size 1? Yeah, man, that's what we use. Pretty much exclusively. And one brush, like, this brush has been going now for a couple of months. Still got a perfect point on it. It'll probably last me another 2 to 3 months. They sort of average out anywhere between 4 and 6. Probably closer to 4. Let's say 4 to 5 months then. But for a tenner, that's... I'm sold. I am sold. World Eaters will definitely be back on the sculpting table once I've done Master P's commission. Nice. Nice. I just want them to release Angron. Said it for years now. As soon as they release Angron, I'm dropping everything else that I've got on at the moment, aside from obviously commissions, which I have to do. And bam. Straight into a Khorne Demonkin army. Bloodthirsters and Angron. Yes. Fuck yes. Get some doggos, get the odd random unit of Chaos Boys. But otherwise, Bloodthirsters and Angry Ron. Okie doke. So, let's get these pouches done. Actually, we probably need to wash those as well. In fact, we do need to wash those. For that, I'm going to use some Strong Tone. We're going to pin wash these. So we don't have to wait so long for it to dry this time. You watch, mate. I'll convert Zerkers from Intercessors and I'll release Primaria Scale Zerkers. Called it. Yep. Yep. Just out of spite, clearly. Somebody sat in head office going, I've just looked at Pedder's Instagram. This is going to really fuck him off. Sucking because I was napping. It's like sunburned and achy to drag my fat ass over some pretty significant hills for 16k of... Damn, man. Damn. Hitting that 10-mile mark. Dude, that's some good work. Good for you. I was hoping to go out for a walk yesterday, but the weather turned a bit cloudy and it looked like it was going to rain. And I didn't want to... It was warm enough that I didn't want to wear like a hoodie or a jacket or anything in case it did. So I was just sort of stuck in that limbo. Do I chance it? And then the thought of being 4 miles away and it pissing it down, it's just like, no. No. We'll just stay home. So I'm going to go for a walk tomorrow night after the Hellstorm stream, which, if you guys were not aware, myself and Mikey from Hellstrom Wargaming, or Helpstorm Wargaming, Hellstrom Warshaming, one of those. Me and he do a stream every Monday night, live at about 6 PM UK time. So a much earlier stream in the evening. And we normally just do some painting. Don't know what he's working on at the moment. He's just finished a load of Necron stuff, but he's got the new Necrons to paint. So he's probably going to be doing new Crons. And I will be doing probably the basis for those Aeronautica Imperialis Orc planes that we've got coming on very soon. In fact, they're going to be on the channel as soon as we've finished off with Ragnar. So got that to look forward to. Got me and Frozzy to thank as well. There you go, mate. Honestly, it fucking helps me out. Take a stogie, get some tunes on, and I basically read my book as I'm walking. So I'm just sort of looking down at my phone, look up, we're good. We're good. Speaking of books as well, I took the dog 8 miles today, but I may have used a quad bike. That's fair. That's fair. I think for that, if you do it regularly, that's going to be cool. Can the dog keep up, or is the dog just sat there on the thing? Right. Highlight some of this stuff. We need some bone colour. Small board gang indeed. Small board is good. I played 3 games on it now. Liking it. Liking that a lot. Played on Friday. Actually, I'll talk to you about that in a second. That was some very fun games. But yeah, going out for that walk, man. That's good. It's really, really, really good. But I was going to say, speaking of books, that was where we got to. I'm trying to remember where I was in the conversation there. Some of you could probably tell. I've just finished the Buried Dagger. I want to say it was called. It was one of the Heresy books. It was the last one in the Horus Heresy series. So now we're on to the Siege of Terror. What's the first book in that series called? Is it called the Siege of Terror? What's the... Anyone know? Because I need to buy it after the stream. Damon says, I haven't had a game since GT Finals and it's bullshit. Until this, I'd played my housemate once in all of lockdown, 1 game, because Ben and I don't play because Ben likes to have a chance to win, and even with the extremely fluffy Custodes army that I took, snowflake's chance in hell of that. But I've played 3 games of 9th, all on smaller table now, and I like it a lot. I like it really a lot. Played a 1600-point game with small boards to try and compensate for points increases and stuff. Was short and sweet and really fun. Nice. We were playing 1750, which is what a lot of people seem to be doing right now to try to guesstimate where it's at. Of course, you've got to remember that that's assuming that every faction goes up by the same number of points. Not only will this be a case of like we're raising points values across the board to help speed up games and so on, this will be one of those like rebalancing things as well. So bear that in mind. I mean, just look at the points cost adjustment of a twin heavy bolter in the Space Marines Codex. You could see that was targeted at one particular unit. Well, 2, I suppose. Siege of Terror, the Solar War. Brilliant. Fish, thank you very much. What do you think of the Buried Dagger? I thought it was really good, dude. It was nice seeing Mortarion as a young person on his home world, because we didn't really get that the first time we were introduced to him. So I'm glad they found a way to slip that in. I thought it was really interesting. Him and Typhon as well. So loved that. Really, really, really like that. This brown, by the way, all I've done is I've taken some of the Catachan brown, which is one of the best pigments that GW have released in years, I think, and mixed in some Menoth white base with it, just to brighten it up a little bit. So we've desaturated a little bit, but kept the color tone relatively warm. And we're just using that as a nice crisp edge highlight. Cool, and then Lost on the Damned. First, all right, cool. I just need the Solar Wall. That's the one we're on. Sweet. No spoilers. Only on book 23. Well, you've got a long fucking way to go, dude. But I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. It was good though. It was really, really good. Right, 9th edition. 9th edition. My God. So it takes a bit to get your head around the terrain. But after a couple of games using basically the same terrain setup, we were okay. We knew what piece of terrain had what special rules, essentially. And there's a few things that you couldn't do in... Sorry, that you could do in 8th that you can't do in 9th now. There's a couple of things that you can do in 9th that you couldn't do Sorry, you couldn't do in 8th, but you can do in 9th. And my biggest takeaway from all the games that I've played is if your opponent fucks up on the placement of their characters and they're not thinking, they're dead. They're just dead. Game over for your warlord, for your chaplains, for your weird boys, for anything that is out of position. So that's my first takeaway. I like that a lot because I've played several games against people that were less enjoyable, we'll say. Some of them against people that are semi-famous in the community, so we're not going to name names. But their game plan was based upon the fact you can't target characters if there's a unit closer. It's in the rules, that's fine. It's not abuse, it's just... It's an unfun interaction. And now that sort of thing can't happen. And if you go down the route of, well look, I've put this unit in front of my character to protect it, and it's just one unit, well, that wasn't enough. Checking for things like ignores line of sight weaponry when you decide that your character doesn't need to be stood near another unit because he's in a building. That needs to be thought about. Yeah, I think that's good. It introduces a lot more important decision making. Just that one rule for anyone that has an army that relies on buffs, like aura buffs especially, to do what it needs to do. So I'm a humongous fan of that change. Cannot be more happy at that change. By the way, all this is a further highlight with a little bit extra bone thrown in. So, sorted. Okay, now before we get onto the gold, which is obviously quite a lot of detail to highlight, I want to just get the last details basically blocked in. And what I'm going to do with these little runestones that we've got, there's a word for them, it's not runestones. Damn it, I forgot what it is. We had this conversation last time we did a Space Wolf thing, which I think was the Dreadnought or the Primaris Lieutenant we did. Syek says, I sniped the chaplain with the Dorito in a night game today because of Watch Out Serval. Yep. It came up in all of the games, like every game that I've played. Possibly because of the way that I'm playing, and I want to take out these buffs, so I'm prioritizing that in my head. But in every game I've played, I've annihilated characters because of the way that rule now works. Fish, absolutely not, mate. That is something that should be prized. You should be winning tournaments, not because of the list that you have that may or may not have just come off the internet, but you should be winning them because you made the right choices at the right times. And yes, dice rolls, we appreciate it's random. Part of those decisions is mitigating that as much as possible, whether that's either in the list building or whether it's in the game itself. If you make the right decision, the dice roll will either be so close to average, still achieving the result you want, or it won't matter at all. Right, these we're going to paint black and we're going to highlight blue. I'm going to use that Meridius blue mixed in with black technique that we've used a lot. I really like the way it comes up. Sorry, 1 second. No, it's okay. It's random. yeah, I really like the way it looks. You get something that looks quite cool in terms of color spectrum, but also just stands out a little bit as kind of an ethereal style thing. Peckish, I think you're about right, mate. If you've got two players of absolutely equal skill, just going to paint these wolf claws in black as well. We've got to do his paws, which we're going to do in a darker flesh tone as well. What time are we at? We're at 25 to 11, so we've got plenty of time. This is good. We've got plenty of work to do too. But yeah, I really like that kind of black-blue that we're going to be doing on those. Back to 9th and character sniping though. So the first game I played was against my friend Jake, Hobo J. We talked about that a little bit. Then I played against Nick McDade. Nick McDade, for those that don't know, is the #1 Dark Angels player in the world. Nick knows his shit when it comes to Dark Angels. We've played twice before in 8th, and we were at 1 win apiece, and they were both very close games, coming down to turn 6 in both of them. So really, really good player. We played 2 games. Both were basically over in turn 1. In the first game, in my first turn, I killed 2 repulsors, Azrael, a Dark Shroud, 2 units of 5 intercessors, and took 6 wounds off of a Leviathan Dreadnought. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. In game 2, in my first turn I killed a Dark Shroud. Much more balanced. Nick didn't kill a Knight. And the reason Nick didn't kill a Knight, so I'm just looking through, make sure there's no other bits of black I need to paint, which there aren't, no more runes. The reason Nick didn't kill a Knight is because when you play 1750 and not 2k, you've got a lot less anti-tank firepower normally. And that's the difference between a Knight living and dying on turn 1. So, that was good. We didn't count the scores on game 1, so there's no need. Game 2, I won 97-10. 97-10. What the fuck? The reason it was 97-10 and not 110 was because Nick made the intelligent decision to choose the board edge that he chose, which meant that I couldn't get to the middle objective on turn 1. That was it. That was literally it. Victor Von Champ, Fish is absolutely right. Check your body position. Now, I am always in a bad position when we stream, which is why those weekend streams that we do are rough on me. This is just a mix of Meridius Blue and Black. Just going to pop that down. Pretty much as a highlight. Quite a thick highlight, though. However, when I paint, when I'm not on stream, I have a much, much better posture. I think of the right word there. And that's really important, especially in a paint for a long time, because you're going to end up in a position naturally because you're concentrating so much on what you're doing with your hands that you're not thinking about anything else, and you will give yourself backache. So constantly be thinking, you know, sit up straight, all these things, get your elbows in perhaps, and everything else to brace. But for me, because the desk is probably about 6 inches, well, 4 inches lower than it should be, I guess, for my actual size, then I sit at a bad position. Gaming Stuka, how you doing, man? Also, just moving around, it will help. That's another reason why those weekend streams. Whew. Whilst I am looking forward, very much so, to release weekend, to painting those 2 minis. Exclamation point Judy and exclamation point score, by the way. Go there quickly before the end of the stream. Get in your votes for how you would like us to paint those minis. Still rooting for Gypsy Danger. But yeah, those weekends, like, I can't get up and just wander around. So when we stop the stream every sort of 4 hours or whatever for me to go and grab some food, use the loo or whatever, getting up, you're like, oh, crunch, 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 crunch. I'm good, dude. Ichu, peace out. Hey, this is somebody that's just started following me on Instagram. Absolute boss. Thank you for popping by tonight. Be pretty sad if it isn't Gypsy Danger, mate. Me too. I'm really, really hoping that we've got Gypsy in the lead. Don't get me wrong. I love Loz's scream. Loz's scream? Wow, that was horribly, horribly rapey. Love a scheme. Scheme. Definitely scheme. Wow, that one's probably already clipped as well. Never mind. Yeah, really love her scheme. But I prefer to play it as Gypsy Danger. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's so funny. That's so funny. Alright, just got some almost pure Meridius blue now. Getting those highlights in again. And then we'll mix in a tiny amount of Menoth White highlight, which is a very bright bone colour, just for the final highlights on those. Came back to the hobby since 2012. I think I spent too much lol. Got to save up a bit. Your streams show my needs for painting more and more. Awesome. Awesome, dude. Glad to hear it. Everyone does that though when they get back into the hobby. So right, I need this, 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 I need this. I just want this. I just bought. Why did I didn't even remember buying this. Shit. You know, that's kind of the range that you go through. It's okay, man. We've all been there. You know, you're in a good place, full of crack addicts. I'm still thinking about that. It was hilarious. That was fucking hilarious. So, last highlight. It's going to be super, super bright, so we want to keep it really, really minimal, otherwise it will change the tone of everything that we've put down there. So we're looking for specular highlights, so those are tiny dots, basically. So anywhere where there's a point of interest, so there, top of that rune, again here, at the corners, obviously. And you see now we've got that rune, it's stands out just enough from the armor, but it's definitely in the background, not in the foreground. Feel like Black Templars lost a lot in the last years, even lost their exclusive codex. They did. They did. I had a Templars army when they were first out, when they first got released. That was my first proper Marine army, I'll say. Obviously, every child that was into 40k had a Marine army when I got into it, because we had second ed 40k. And we all had some Marine toys. That and the first me I painted was a Blood Angel as well. So, you know. Back in the really, really old days of minis being made of metal with plastic parts and bolters that you had to cut the handle off of so that the Marine could hold it. Yeah. Can't hope they smash out new coats is super fast, making to hold my breath. Mate, I've heard that from a couple of people. So 8th has been out for 3 years now. The last codex we had released for the last army that needed a codex came out in January. So 2.5 years, and that was when they said we're going to rush the codexes. We're going to try and get these out to you as quickly as we possibly can do, so everyone's playing with an army with the right stuff. It took 2.5 years. There's 22 factions in the game. See, if you did one a month, that's a year and 10 months before you get all that in. It's not happening. There will be at least one faction that probably doesn't get a codex in 9th. Unfortunately, it's not fucking Space Marines. Ugh. Right, boom. Let's get that bit done, and then we'll do the gold. So, let's grab some Mohawkminiatures highlight. Damn, you can tell it's warm in here because even my wet palette is having issues now. Going to mix some of that in with our Mohawkminiatures base, so we've got kind of a mid-tone bone color. Remember, we gave it our base coat using that base, as you'd expect from the name. You know, there's a clue there. And then we give it a wash. So this is going to jump out a little bit, but that's totally fine. We've got a very small space, so what we're looking for really is contrast more than a nice smooth blend. So get these highlights in. And working from the bottom, being the brightest part of the bone, or the tooth, and the top part being the darkest. Share with a friend who's collecting Blood Angels. Nice, nice. Dude, trust me, you are not the only person that bought it for Necrons. There's plenty out there, although I appreciate there are a lot more Marine players currently than Necrons. But to everyone that's bought it and gone, oh, I might just get rid of my Necrons, trust me when I say you probably want to keep them if you like playing strong armies. Because they're getting a completely new range. Like there's so much new stuff coming. Some of it apparently we haven't even seen yet either. And so, yeah, keep your crons. Don't just throw them out. Don't get rid of them for the sake of like not wanting them. Keep hold of those. All right, use up all of the little bits of teeth. Yes. Cool. That's those done. Right, moving on. Oh, do something with AM new minis would be nice. I'm assuming you mean Imperial Guard, because everyone says that, and I think they mean AdMech. So I started assuming the other way around. Yeah, I saw that in the chat. That chat is, I'll just say very quiet currently. I stopped talking in it the other day. Posted something since. I haven't really been in. Right, we haven't done silver yet, actually. We need to get that down as a base coat. So let's just get all the base coats done, and then hopefully we'll be able to get onto some more highlights in a tick. There's not a lot of silver to do. So we've got some gunmetal, which is a really nice colour from Vallejo Model F. This is basically their version of Leadbelcher. I want to say it's a GW1. And I think it's brilliant. Really, really good stuff. Great in the airbrush. Works really, really well. Just brushed on as well, despite it being an air paint, because it's got the right consistency. Yeah, big fan of this. We won't worry about the metalwork on the base. That I'll paint off stream, but certainly things like his ice climbers, whatever these are called. Are they just snowshoes with the spikes? Could be that. You still got the first edition Necrons, mate. I remember me and my friends at school going down to the shop and buying white dwarfs with our sort of allowance / pocket money. Mine was my paper round money. I didn't get pocket money. because they came with a Necron on the front. And my mate Mike, who was desperately like, yes, I must have the Terminator peoples. He was all about that life. For him, he just went deep. He ended up with the Destroyers, which were horrendous to put together. Like, none of us managed to put it together without it falling apart 10 minutes later. Flying stands never lasted. Ever. So my Necron half, I keep the other. Fair. To be honest, unless you're desperate for Scorpeth dudes, and I fucking love them. I absolutely love them. Unless you're desperate for those, then there's not much point in having more than one copy. Because they'll also have a standalone release, obviously, which will be a, you'd imagine, multi-part plastic kit. So, you know. Could barely get mine in Spanish. Wanted English translation free titles often for a lot of mistakes. That's damn. If you live near a GW though, and I can't tell you that I've heard this from an official source because the person involved would be in trouble. But just remember that there will have been stock set aside for retail stores to have on their shelves. Now, whether that's the case overseas, I couldn't say, because I don't know. But it would be good business practice for a company to say, right, here's our stock, cool, this is what needs to be good for our physical stores, this is our warehouse stuff. So, just bear that in mind. Sarah has just burst through the doors with an axe. Crazy, but you know. Fish, that's cool, because you might be able to get another copy if you wanted one now. I think you've probably got what you need though, right? Alright, more metal. We've got the sword. Yes, this is where we need to do the silver. I knew there was a big part of silver that had to be done this evening. And the backpack as well. There's always bloody silver bits to do on the backpack. So my issue with all the rage people have been spouting the last day is nothing in the box they wouldn't release independently. Well, actually, there is. So here's the thing, guys, right? Time to get on the soapbox. In that box, there is a book that is limited edition. And there are a load of sprues of minis. Which are also, I hope, limited edition. Now, why do I say that? That's a fucking weird thing to say, right? Why do you hope that the minis are limited edition? Because they're the snap fit, monopose, easy to build versions of those kits. Which means, as they are jammed onto the sprue to fit as much as possible in as small a space as possible, you will find Space Marines with shoulder pads that join the sprue here. Like literally a big spike off of the shoulder pad to attach it to a sprue. For anyone that's ever taken one of those minis, and I think that guy that you just saw there, that limited edition Marine mini from the Conquest magazine, for anyone that has ever taken one of those minis and removed all trace of that sprue joint, you will know how much of a pain in the dick that is. And so, I truly hope that the minis in that box are limited edition, because we don't fucking need them. We need the multi-part ones. that look class. And they'll be out within 2 months at a guess. That's my guess, 2 months. So there's no point in having a spaz. That being said, that box for £125 is a fucking horrendously good deal. Because separately, those units, and GW said this, you're probably getting it at half price, I think was their thing. So it's going to cost you about 120 quid to 150 quid to buy each side. So yeah, you're losing a few minis. And I appreciate that there are people in the hobby that are, you know, less well off than some. And their hobby is like their one treat that they have. And so for those people, they may have been really relying on this box to start the Necron army or the Space Marine army that they wanted. I get it. And I'm sorry if that's you guys and you fall into that category. Because I've been there. I've been the guy that lives on £5 worth of food a week. And when I met my ex-wife, that's kind of the position I was in. And to take her out for dinner, I had to starve basically for 3 days of 2 weeks to be able to afford to do that. So I get it, that some people will need to have the box at a discount to be able to do what they wanted to do with it. But if you can afford to play toy soldiers, you can probably afford it anyway, right? David says, I have 4 of the Dark Imperial Marines in his current batch of 25. They ain't all that bad. They're not all that bad, you're right, because I've painted a couple of those starter sets. But there's 1 or 2 in there, you're like, oh, you fucker, that's right in his knee pad. I think that's a Hellblasters, maybe, I can't remember. They may put some of those in a no fear easy start. Yeah, absolutely. And they should, because they sell really, really well. I've got the friends of mine that work in the industry, those boxes absolutely fly off the shelves. Because when you tell your mum for Christmas, like, oh, I want Warhammer 40,000, she'll go to the Games Workshop, she'll see the spotty nerds, she'll look at the price and go, he wants a fucking what? So the manager says, it's okay because 40 quid. Then that's a much easier pill for your dear old mum to swallow. So they sell really, really well. And that's great, because anything that gets more people into the hobby is great as far as I'm concerned. Because if they're a child and they get it for Christmas, that means that in, say, 10 years, they're the person whose teeth are going to be kicking in at the tournament table. Just for their lunch money, though, right? I mean, handful of warm gravel, yeah, mate. Yeah, for sure. Warmed in the sun as well. Couldn't afford to cook them. 8p noodles from Asda. Christ. God, that's a meal. It's not a meal. It's not even really food. That's the problem. No, my one was Iceland frozen pizzas, and they're horrible. They're not good. I cook pizza every Friday now. In fact, Damien has seen some of my pizzas, because I occasionally put them up in a chat that we're both in. And I cook pizza every Friday. That pizza is fucking out of this world good. Those Iceland frozen pizzas, they're horrible. Fish says, warm gravel, that's your luxury. Cold and hard is the way. I feel sorry for your wife, mate. Used to work into mine 25 hours a day to get uphill both ways. A bed? A bed? You got a bed? We had to share a floor. 8 of us. Again, in snooker, that is a very, very sensible thing. Very sensible thing. I think having a really hard couple of years did me a massive amount of good overall. I didn't enjoy it, but I left uni, and within 2 years I was earning well past 40k a year at 24. Damn, man, you did better than I did. I went and wrestled for a living where I got paid fuck. Oh. But I had great fun. Great fun. Damien, I remember that. That was it Alan Rickman? I'm trying to remember the other 3 though, because there were 4 of them. But yeah, I watched that when I was a kid. That was hilarious. Who were the other 3? One of them was from Monty Python, I think, right? Hurt us. Ah, it's okay, dude. It's okay. You're here for the last half hour or so. Speaking of which, we've got our work in progress going, our community whip in about 15 to 20 minutes. So if you've got some stuff that you would like to share with everyone here on stream, !Discord, head on over there. Post up a picture or 2 in the whip gallery. And then we'll take a look at them together in a bit. Now, we didn't do one in the last stream because I had to duck out for the migraine, so I appreciate there's going to be a couple of people wanting to get their work in. So we might stop in 15 minutes to do the whip. So you've got until then to get your photos in. We might have done all the silver by then because there's not a lot to do. So just get some dark tone down on the teeth of this chainsword. Honestly, this is better than Nuln Oil. Promise you. You should buy some dark tone and try it on your next mini instead of Nuln Oil. It's fucking brilliant stuff, this. Fucking brilliant. It was originally a Monty Python sketch. That explains why I thought there was something from Monty Python in it. The only one I remember though is the one with Alan Rickman in. I remember when I got super in trouble, I was on the cheapest packet of pasta and ketchup, as the ketchup was cheaper than tomato sauce. That was fun. My god. Whew. Yes. Yes, Eddie Izzard, Harry Enfield, and Vic Reeves. Yep. I thought Izzard was in it, and I kept thinking, no, it can't be. He's not. No, wouldn't have done that. Izzard's fucking hilarious, though. Why is it better than Nuln Oil? It just is, alright? Just take my word for it. All of the Army Painter washes are an ever so slightly thicker consistency than the GW ones. They're a little easier to control, and they don't... okay. If you use the wash correctly, they don't leave horrible coffee stains. So coffee staining, just think about it. You know, you'll work out what I mean by that. It's a term quite often used in painting where you've applied a wash to something and it's just left those sort of blotchy coffee star stains on something. They don't really leave those behind, especially if you thin it with some quick shade medium if you're doing large areas. But especially if you're just doing small bits, it just behaves better. Now we are trying to do this without using oils. We decided at the very get-go this is going to be an acrylic only miniature, because normally I would just get all these base coats down and then we just oil wash the fuck out of this guy and he'd be mostly done. A couple of highlights, bits of battle damage, some tidy up, some special effects, and sorted, right? And that's why we're using all these. We do a lot of oil washing on stream. And for anyone that's out there that didn't want to use oils for something, maybe they're afraid of oils or they don't want to be using thinners, for various reasons, because they're not, you know, the greatest thing to have around you all times, then yeah, I think we do this one acrylic only. Any more bits of silver? No, that's all the silver. So they pull less. They do pull less. Chicken fingers, there you go. Another advocate for strong tone. Strong tone and dark tone, they're brilliant. Right, don't forget, guys, we've got 25 odd minutes left in the stream. Exclamation point Judy and exclamation point score. Go and get your votes in for these names for our Judicia and our Scorpeth Lord. Oh, guys, what is this heresy? It was neck and neck, Ultramarines and Dank Angles earlier on. Now the Ultramarines are up by 2. There are some closet Ultramarine fans in this stream. What is going on? What is going on? Scorpeth Lord, Gypsy Danger Cron still just ahead. Also by 2 votes. Also by 2 votes. It's good. It's good. My favourite Eddie Izzard sketch is the Death Star Canteen. Do you know who I am? No. I'm your boss. You're Mr. Stevens. Yes. Oh, God. I love that. That is one of my favourite Eddie Izzard sketches. And that one and the one where he's on the plane as well. Where he's the pilot and they're handing out biscuits. And the pilot's sort of looking back, looking at the people in first class, saying, no, you can't have that biscuit. It's like, well, I want a Jammy Dodger. You can't have the Jammy Dodger. Mine's a Jammy Dodger. Well, I want a Jammy Dodger. And he reaches for it. Puts the stick down. That one's hilarious. He does it a lot better than I do, obviously. But that one was fucking out there. Right. Haven't got long left. Going to unleash the power of the hairdryer. That was the power of the hairdryer. You're disappointed the Space Walls are so low. I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Right, needs some silver. It's the brightest silver that I use on regular metal. Oh, I definitely did, mate. But I haven't seen that since I was maybe 12 or so. And it still makes me smile now to this day thinking about it. It's one of those amazing bits of comedy that just fucking got in my head as a kid. And I'm stuck on it. I love it. Do you ever find that using the hairdryer messes up the paint at all? Only if the paint's on there quite thick and wet. If it's got both of those 2 properties, then you're going to blow it all over the place. So, obviously, don't do that. Or use the hairdryer at a distance where you're not going to push it around very much. But, frankly, if your paint is on there that thick in the first place, that's your problem, not the hairdryer. They need to put the tray on the tray. Oh, yes. Absolutely. God, some of the best comedy ever, though, is Bottom and the Young Ones. For anyone that's young, you won't know what I'm talking about. And if you went back and watched it, you probably wouldn't find it funny because I'm looking at these things with nostalgia in my eyes. But, oh, my God. My God. I was banned from watching those unless, this is by my mum, okay, my mum banned me from watching those unless I was sat on the floor as a child because she was fed up of me falling off the sofa because I was laughing so hard. Oh God, it just absolutely creased me up. The one where Eddie and Richie go camping is just one of the most funny things ever. The bit at the end. Just... Oh man, you guys may not appreciate it, but honestly, just go and watch it if you get the chance. Frequently it's been on things like Amazon and Netflix and all that sort of jazz, and you can probably watch the entire thing streamed off YouTube now as well. Somebody would have put it up there. You'll get a lot of my humour once you've watched that. Gasman! Gasman! Is there someone who looks after you? Gasman! Yes, I'm the Gasman. Fishing with a tent pole, yeah, that harpoon. Yeah, he is both my legs. Oh, God. Yeah, A-Cold, exactly, right? No one at my school knew what the fuck I was talking about. But me and my old man, oh, God, that was our Friday nights, was watching Bottom. It was hilarious. One of my favourite things from the young ones was the one where Vivian's trying to nail plates to the table, and Mike walks in and just says, "What are you doing?" "I'm nailing the plates down." He breaks another one, and Mike just takes a plate, puts down, hammer, bam, straight through. Doesn't break the plate, straight through the plate. You're like, I could nail anything. That had me. Bottom, I've seen Bottom live, not in person unfortunately, but I had a couple of DVDs. The Island one and the one with the laboratory. I don't remember what it was called though. I've nailed my legs to the table. Does anyone here know who the Dangerous Brothers were? I mean, it was Rick Mail and Adrian Edmondson, so you will know who they were, but did you ever see any of the shows? Because that was the precursor to both of those two things. And there's a brilliant story that I saw in a documentary about Bottom and their sort of friendship and everything, where they were doing a skit on the Dangerous Brothers, and Eddie was on a sort of soapbox, and he set himself on fire. This was staged. This was meant to happen. And there was a code word to alert somebody off screen to run in with a fire extinguisher and put him out if it got to the point where it was like, shit, this is all gone wrong and I need help. And the code word was a woman's name. He stands on this thing and he sets his legs on fire. He's like, I'm on fire, I'm on fire. Shit. Sandra, Stacy, Jackie, Jill, Shirley. And he's just screaming out women's names. He can't remember the right one. So he just runs off stage going, fuck, I'm on fire. Right. We're going to end the stream here. We're going to go into the work in progress gallery. So ! Discord, get a link to there. Go and put your work in progress up so that we can all... I nearly said sit here and laugh because I was reading Fish's comment. We can all sit here and discuss it together, have a look at what you've been working on. Tonight we've done a load of little bits of detail on our Fenrisian Lord, Ragnar Blackmane. He's looking good. He's looking good. I only get a few more bits done off stream. I'll leave a little bit of gold, so we might leave this cross that he's got going on and his championship belt. We'll leave those two elements to do on stream so you can see how the highlights affect that. But all the other bits of gold we'll do off stream, just because now we're taking a little bit too long to get this guy done. We've got other work we need to be getting on with, and I really want to get on with doing things like the face and the base as well, because these are two really, really important parts of the mini. Painting face is something a lot of you guys I know have a bit of struggle with, so definitely want to do a full stream on that. Don't forget though, guys. Exclamation point Judy, exclamation point score. Go and vote for the colour scheme that you would like us to paint our Judicia and Scorpeth Lord in for that giveaway stream on the weekend of the 25th of July. It's definitely 25th. Did I put in the fucking... I think it's 27. No, I put 2507. That's Rocky's fault. Damn you, Rocky. How dare you. Exclamation point box as well. If you would like to win an entire Indomitus box set shipped to you from anywhere in the world. Shipped to you anywhere in the world from here. I'm not moving location. Unless the shipping's really expensive, in which case I'll just put it in luggage and deliver it by hand, because that might be cheaper. So, Fish, stop it, I'm trying to talk. So, exclamation point box for that. You will go to my Instagram, where if you follow these instructions, not those, these instructions, ta-da, you could win that box. And don't forget as well, on the giveaway stream, you not only get the chance to win the Judicia or the Scorpeth Lord, but also the rest of that faction brand new on Sprue. So if you want to start a Marine army, if you want to start a Necron army, definitely make sure you're here for that. Enter the raffle. You've still got both of these two polls going, the Judicia and the Scorpeth Lord. So exclamation point Judy and exclamation point score to go and vote. But for now, let's go look at the work in progress gallery. This was today during the stream. This is Hobo J, GW employee, painting these scarabs. They look awesome. They look absolutely awesome. Fish, yes I will. It's sat right there, mate. I feel really bad about this, but I'm not going to. But yes, you will get that flipping Eldar raid line before we finish Ragnar, maybe, possibly, perhaps. Who knows? These look sick. So these are done using a lot of the new GW paints. Now I had to go at painting a Necron without using these new GW paints. This took me about 45 minutes earlier on. I think he looks pretty good. It's pretty close to the current Nucron colour scheme. As you see from what we've got between here and here. Got a lot of that kind of sort of brown, silver and that nice glowing green. But I really like these. I think these scarab bases look so much nicer than the current ones where you get a few of them that you sort of stick on those tiny little flimsy flying stands. Jake, you've done a great job of these, dude. Keep it up. That's a Cribs Causeway store, by the way. So if anybody is around Bristol and wants to see a great looking Necron army on the table, definitely head on over there. Smithy, getting his Star Wars Legion stuff going on. I saw on your Instagram or in the chat, I think last time you were not enjoying painting these right now. White's a very tough thing to paint. A lot of, at least. It's relatively simple to do in terms of execution, but to keep going on white is mentally fatiguing. Twilight Walker, that sounds like a really good idea, mate. You should also get some of the ones from the big pyramid. What's it called? The obelisk and the other thing. Transcendent Catan house. I don't know. Tesseract Arc. Vault. Tesseract Vault. There you go. Because there's two different kinds of scarabs in there. Sorry, two different sizes of scarabs to the normal ones. So, thanks, Des. We got there eventually. Nice work, mate. Keep going, though. Power through. I know it's a struggle. Keep going. Sith. Okay, I know a lot of this is 3D printed, so we're just going to skip it, I'm afraid, mate. Because that's 3D printing stuff that you shouldn't be 3D printing. But this is fucking sick. George, it's now a Catan house. You're right. It's now just a Catan house. That's what it is. Damien, this is pretty fucking baller, mate. So this is all brush blended, no airbrush. Because that's just how he rolls. Does Catan have a mortgage? No, it paid it off. It's been around for aeons. It's cleared that. So that's all I got. Dude, your Death Watch, I can't wait to see in person at No Retreat. Genuinely can't. Absolutely knocking it out of the park with these guys.
Welcome to Talking Technique, No Trouble. This is Sari. In this improv in the beginning, you heard me play a little bit with a command
and no.
Essentially, what?
Give me 1 second. Why did that go off of the stream music? It's on loop, for fuck's sake. And she's not in the bloody playlist either. Catan Shard of the Bank loan. Yeah, exactly that, right? Smithy, you did. I told you just keep going, mate. Power through. It's a pain, but you just gotta keep going. Wah in the paint box. Host, thank you very much, dude. Salcero, there's no song request, mate. Sons of Rolo. Here we go. You still struggling, trying to get used to controlling the airbrush. Okay, mate. So trying to work out if this is just some priming or whether you've gone for just greys faded up to white. Or at least a lighter grey in places. Let me have a quick look at the other photo we've got here. Looks like maybe it's been some en masse priming. Again, huge fan of the array of cigar boxes in the background. Top marks. Rocky, we killed that command as well. You see it having problems controlling it or still struggling to get used to it. It's just one of those things that just comes with time, mate. Make sure you're sat comfortably. Make sure you have a good area around you. When I started airbrushing, I used to use a small box to spray into. And so I'd find myself sort of crunched in trying to spray in this box, which obviously would absolutely ruin my back. Dark grey to light. Okay, cool. Well, in that case then, mate, you've done okay. Like for your zenithals and stuff like that, you've done alright. If you look at this shot, you can see the guy right in front of us, the Primaris stealthy dude. You've got highlights on the shoulders, you've got highlights on the backpack, you've got highlights on the knee pads. This is fine, this is what you want. So, keep going, mate. Just keep going. Rocky, don't you dare ever say things like that again. No giving up if you think you're no good. Just keep trying. I've said it several times. I have absolutely zero talent. What I have is just learned skill. I've spent years painting, trying to be better than I was every single fucking time I do a brush stroke. That's where it comes from. Right? If you're bad at something, just keep trying. Just means you gotta work harder at it, that's all. Demon Badger. Still getting through these Thousand Suns. Love this sorcerer, mate. I'm a big fan of the green that you get on these guys. It's just so in your face. Are you having fun with them yet? Because again, I know you weren't loving these at one point either. Rocky, dude. Thank you very much for that. Let me give Empress Champion his meeps. Hey, Chief. Good work on these though, mate. Honestly, I like it. Damien says, I painted like a spaz when I started, then 4 years later I won my demon. There you go. Failing is the first step towards being good at something, says December Wind. Absolutely right, man. You either win or you learn. It's a pretty cliched quote, but it's legit, right? Nice work, champ. Honestly, I like it. Keep going. They're a grind, but keep going. They're looking good. Oh, here we go. Here we go. They look great, mate. Like, when they're all together, they look really, really sick. Rocky, yes you are, mate. Yes you are. Very nice work, man. The pink and the green accents work really well. Keep going. Why are a couple of them on different bases? I just realised you've got like 3 in this unit on a different base to the rest. Are they on like the Sigma magic bases? Zero spades. This is one of my favourite Sigma models. Nice, mate. Orc dude is looking good. Tricky to see some of the detail from this far away. So I can't really give you much in the way of a sort of critique. But yeah. Looking good so far, mate. Keep us updated on this model, though. Got a load of room on that base, so don't just put down some like pumice or some whatever Games Workshop calls the shit that they sell. Don't just do that. Make something out of it. We've done a lot of streams here for creating some scenic bases. Yeah, go crazy. You got cork. It's a good start. Do something fun with it. Yeah, maybe make some like craters where he's stood or where he's like breathe fire or whatever it does. Frozen river. That sounds cool. Now I'm excited. Epic. Do that. You got plenty of room on that base, like I said. Right, Rocky. This base, as bad as I think it is, hang on. Why is it snowing in the desert? That's a new one. I don't get the yellow. What's the deal with the yellow? Because I'm assuming that's snow. Either that or he's got a real problem. You know? It's not desert. Okay. Tell me the story of this base, mate. Alright? And then we'll go from there. Because I don't understand it at the moment. I appreciate it's a pigment. Yeah, I can tell that actually. But it's yellow, so it looks like sand. That's the initial like thought from it. So what's the deal with the base? It's supposed to be dirt. Okay. A lot of what we do as painters for miniatures is optical illusions, right? Because we're painting highlights on things to give the suggestion that light is on that part of the mini. And so because of that, we're basically sort of lying to our audience. We're showing them something that isn't real. And we're relying on sort of behavioral like instincts that they have to identify certain parts of what you've painted and go, oh, this is this thing. So if we just scroll up, look at a different part of the mini, we'll just take the cow skull thing on his head. I'm like, oh, this is a skull. It's not part of like a sculpture or anything because you've painted it in bone colours, so it's made of bone. And that's the connection that somebody makes immediately with that. Because this is yellow in colour, the initial thought is it's sand. And then you've got white snow on sand, and that's the issue. So what I suggest you do is brush off quite a lot of this pigment. Once you've got rid of that pigment, actually no, you don't need to do that. You could just paint on top of it. So you could go with like just thin down some brown paint. Don't use a wash because it'll get really claggy. But just thin down some brown paint and just sort of paint that on over it. That will essentially create a pigment on your base using the sort of powder you've got there from the pigment you've put down. It'll create a paint. Give it a go with that, and then if it still looks very warm, because it inevitably will, then you could go with a grey dry brush or something on those sorts of lines to sort of knock it down a bit. Have a look at pictures of frozen tundra, things like that, and you'll frequently see that even the ground looks a little bit grey. Sometimes that's just the way that the camera and the white balance is working, but sometimes it's just maybe you're at an altitude where it just looks a bit more like that. So give that a shot. Alright? Don't be negative about your painting. We've just gone through an entire conversation over sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Alright? You just need to learn a bit more. That's what you can take home from this. Right, here's George painting Kroot people. Let's see, George, this looks fine. Because now we can see the mini. This is a good start. Now, I'm not going to rag on you for anything you've got here, because I know you've got about 100 Kroot to paint. Which is more Kroot than anyone needs to paint. It is, quite definitely. This is clearly some sort of Sergeant Kroot or similar. So you could spend the extra bit of time just here and there getting some highlights down. Do a few more around the end of his rifle because that's very up in the air. It's going to be the highest point on the model. Not necessarily a shaper, honestly, because in George's list there's even a Kroot commander or something. But yeah, I just go the extra mile on this guy because he's a character. Pick out another couple of highlights. The base is weird. I'm sure it fits somehow. Cool, you are using this as a shaper. Sweet, dude. He's good. I like it. I like the blue. Actually, I really, really like the blue. Right, Ent. Sundays for robots, right? Every day is for robots. Ghost Keel. Yes. Love Ghost Keels. That's it. Kroot Ethereal. I knew there was some sort of HQ you had that was a Kroot. Nice, dude. I like it. It's a cool scheme as well. I think you could definitely pick out some more contrast, especially on the blue. But that's just personal preference more than anything else. Keep going with it, mate. Keep going with it. Looks like it's nearly finished though, just the base to do and maybe a detail or two here and there. Happy days, man. Still highlights on the blue. Ah, that's why I can't see much contrast. Nice, mate. Keep it up, dude. Keep it up. Crown Blade. Bling boys. Oh, here we go. You got Orc Plains going on. Nice. I've got 12. I think. Shit. I can't remember how many planes. I've got a load of Orc planes to paint. They're these kind of planes. We've got a load of little ones that are the sort of bombers. We've got some that are the fighter jets. And we've got two of the massive, great big ones. So if you want to see some of those being painted, make sure you tune in over the next couple of weeks. These are good. I like the orange. Contrasts well with the sort of bluish colour at the front. Works well against the silver. Done well. Done well. Work on shading and weathering. That's cool. Fish, honestly, it's a piece of piss. Like it took longer to mask the blue on all of the ones that I've done than it did to do any other step in the process so far. So there you go. That tells you how easy it is, right? The only bit of feedback I'd suggest, and it's probably just that you haven't got to this stage yet, is that the windows need a little bit of shading on them. So glaze in some darker colours, probably in the top corner. So on mine, I tend to do the darkest point being the top left and the brightest point being the bottom right, just because of habit. That's how I do gems and things like that. So it's a pattern I've gotten into over the years. So me just glaze in some darker colours up towards that corner, give it a bit more depth to those windows. And then you can just get a quick little set of highlights in around the edges and you're absolutely done. But they're nice, they do. Good job. Oh, here you go. These are the fighter jets. These are cool as fuck. Really, really, really like these. They're just so awesome in terms of models. Still, my favourite is the one on the right hand side here. And when I did that one, we painted flames on all of the nose. Right here! Yes! There they were, just on time. Yeah, big fan of them, mate. Right, Milo. So, we talked about glazes last time you were here. Let's have a look at this sword. Okay, dude, right. So this isn't bad at all for a first attempt. This is actually quite good for a first attempt. The biggest takeaway is that your glazes have worked. All right, you've got a smooth progression. Nice work. It's not the smoothest one ever. There's still room for improvement, but you've got a smooth progression. There's no, like, this color stops and this color starts straight away. Nailed it. 2 suggestions for you. The first one is, and this is tricky, trust me, I know how tricky this is, but the first suggestion is that the line you've got down the middle of the sword is too thick. It's very hard to get a perfectly straight, very thin line in there. It takes a lot of practice. There's nothing wrong though with just getting out a piece of paper and your brush and just practicing drawing straight lines over and over and over again. I did. I spent an hour just drawing straight lines. Because it's an hour, right? It's not the end of the world. It helps. Second suggestion is you have got some good step changes for your blends, your glaze. Just gone through that, they're great. But maybe start a little darker at the bottom so there's more contrast between the bottom colour and the top colour. Once you get the hang of that, once you've got a bit of practice doing that, then you can start doing the ones where you switch it on one side. So you've got dark to light and light to dark. Really love doing stuff like that. So for a first attempt, mate, it's way better than my first attempt. Honestly, my first attempt looked like a dog's dinner. You're doing a much, much better job than I have. So keep it up. Actually, just in general, I really like what you've done with that guy. Yeah, good work. Good composition for the mini. Butt shot. Oh, hang on. Let's have a quick look at this side. Okay, so I'm going to give you a tip. With the line that you've got in the middle, you can basically just go in and subtract out some of that highlight. So if you then take the glazes that you've used going up the sword and then just glaze in a little bit more against the white, you can kind of slim it down a little bit. You're basically painting over one side to sort of even it out from both sides. I do this a lot when I'm doing freehand, or sort of painting the background colour around it to just sharpen the image a little bit. So if you wanted to, you could do that. I'd suggest that you do, because you've done a lot of work with this mini, and you know it's going to take another 25-30 minutes or so to maybe get that done. Well worth it, mate. But good work, seriously, dude. Keep it up. Quid. Oh, it's your Daddy Tubbs. First of 3 converted Legion of Damned Invicta warsuits. Oh, we saw these briefly the other day. So difficult to get any kind of movement in a dreadnought. I think it's the angle of the photo, because obviously here he's on a slant. But he does look like he's tripped up a little bit. If I do that and put him sort of perpendicular to what would be the ground, it does look much better. Also, I see a load more skulls. This is good. Very nice, mate. Very, very, very nice. Looking forward to seeing him with some paint on and some free-handed flames, I guess. 0 of spades. We got a Night Lord's whip. Hey, look at you with a skull in the shoulder pad. That's cool. Trying to work out if that's something you've just stuck to the outside or whether you've actually hollowed out a little bit of shoulder pad to get that in there. Makes me very sure that fight for Zion in the Matrix. Yes. Absolutely yes. That's definitely a good thing, though. It's the only good part of that film. You have had the hollow out. I thought so, mate. Nice. I think that's sick. Oh, Chainglaive. Very, very cool. I had a message sent to me today from a person that's very, very, very famous for playing and collecting Night Lords, asking about a commission. And unfortunately, I can't do what he wants to do in the time he wants to get it done in. But I'd love to do some Night Lords for him one day. We've talked about it like 4 or 5 times, and he keeps messaging me at like the 11th hour, like, "Oh, can you do this next month?" No, I'm sorry. But nice work, mate. I love Night Lords. Epic. Right, that is the end of the whip, and that will be the end of the stream. So, before we end, let's have a look at our polls. So remember, I've still got a vote. I haven't voted yet, so I get to swing vote if there is one, if there's a draw. So for the Judicia, it will be an Ultramarine. That's it. Raptors got 2 votes. I fucking love Raptors. How did they come in last? Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. How? Okay. We've got a Smurf. That wasn't the important one, though. This is the important one. For me, this is the important one. Yes! God, I was so waiting to have to fucking get my vote in there to get Gypsy Danger Crons at the top of the list. But, whew. So we've got Gypsy Danger Scorpeth Lord. And we've got a Ultramarine Judicia. So that's cool. That's cool. We've got one colour scheme that's really cool and one that is mostly black with a blue shoulder pad. So, Twilight Walker, it might be right. It might be right. I like them, so they came in last, but I like this one that came in first. Cosmically, we're balanced. Our karma is good. So, we will put up a new poll on Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. It's Sunday today. On Tuesday night, we'll put up a new poll, which will be for the basing. So we'll put up maybe 10 choices. We'll run that for a week. And it'll give you plenty of time then to get new basing material should we need to. And that should be everything we need to know about our new Kron and Space Marine minis to be given away on that release weekend. Remember, you have 2 chances of winning most of or all of a box of the new Indomitus ! Box. Go follow me on Instagram, you'll see some more information there. That's it for tonight's stream though, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. We've had fun, painted more of Raggy. Raggy! He's looking very cool. Peckish, hope you're happy with him. I'm going to get as much of this done off stream as I can now on these bits. We'll leave a little bit of gold to show you guys how to highlight it. And then next stream, we'll be painting his head. For now, though, let's go find some unsuspecting sod over on Twitch. We've either got... Oh, is he actually streaming? He is actually streaming. Oh, well, I was just going to go and find some randomer with like 1 or 2 viewers, but this is so much better. We're going to go and raid Solway Studios. He's probably going to be finishing within the next 15 minutes or so. So when we get there, give this guy some love, get some hype in the stream. This guy's an amazing painter, especially if you like weathering oils and stuff like that. Peace out, everyone. See you Tuesday.
Voice recognition unicycle, banned and shot. This is not a daffodil. Repeat, this is not a daffodil.
It is not a daffodil. Eshu, thank you for the follow. And Mohawk, my wonderful bearded brother, thank you for the